All right, I am on my way to meet Roger in Finland, his YouTube channel. I will link to his channel and be sure to check it out. Okay, there he is.
Hey, hello, Peter.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm really good.
So you have your fancy new camera, which...
I have a fancy big thing that hopefully takes nice pictures.
Oh, it does, it does. What I have here is the, I always forget, ZX2. No, XZ-2 actually it is. And I'm testing this because it's a 10-year-old camera, and Roger will provide me an image taken with his fancy new, I'm not going to say what, camera, and I will take one with this, and then I will try to make the image with this as good in technical quality as Roger's photograph. But how are you?
I'm really good, and it's really about the camera in my case. But I'm really good. Thank you, Peter, for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We actually talked about this during the worst days of COVID, and
yes,
decided that when it's over, and now it's not over, but we don't care anymore.
It looks like the world is ready to
yes.
open up. It looks like we're okay doing this. We didn't need to wear the masks. So
yeah, exactly.
We could go out and take some pictures and take some videos.
Yes, we do. Well, why don't we take just a general photograph of the Parliament House and the statue and the music hall there, and then
sounds excellent.
Compare.
And
right.
then you'll be able to compare then.
Yes. Well, why don't you start, and I'll just match that photograph then.
I'll try to get a bit of the other building
yes.
as well.
Yeah, great. All right, you have it there.
There we go.
Could you hold that for me? Because I can't photograph and hold the camera at the same time. I need to turn it on. I haven't used this for a little while, so might be a bit. Okay, and there we go, and we're done. But you will send me the photograph, and I will remind you again that check out his channel.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Stuff.
So Roger in Finland, checking out today.
Yes. All right. We'll see you later.
Yes.
Hi, it's Peter here. And before we look at those two images and compare the image quality between this and Roger's brand new full frame camera, let's talk about the cameras in general. And by the way, I visited his channel too, and you can watch it from there. Or is it there? I don't know. Wherever it is. I will link to that video in the end screen and also in the description, so you have plenty of options to click and watch that video too. But now, let's talk about cameras in general. Many of us think that the camera is the most important thing in photography, and I many times said that it's not. You can get really great results with old cameras, like with my XZ-2, because photography is not about the gear that you're using. It's all about your storytelling abilities, your creativity, and your ability to express your views with photographs. That is the most important thing. And the sad thing is that a lot of photographers or hobbyists or whatever, they kind of like their self-esteem comes from the camera or the gear that they're using. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be proud of what you have and what you can get, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy the best gear there is if you can afford it and you feel that's what you need. No problem with that. But do not kind of like rate your ability to photograph from the gear you have. It's got nothing to do with your creativity or anything like that. It's all about getting out there and making those images. You as a photographer is judged by the images you make. And I'm not saying that you always have to make great images. Photography is also about having fun, going out, being creative, and the results sometimes might be just a byproduct of having fun. And if you don't get anything, don't worry about it. It doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is that you enjoy the act of making an image. The act of photography is the most important thing, and that should be your goal. Have fun and the results will follow. Let's see if there's anything else on this part. Yeah, about good gear. And of course, if you have a good gear and gear that you like to use, the photography part will be more fun. Of course, that's the case. But remember that the photograph or the act of making the image is more important than just having good gear. I bought this Olympus Stylus XZ-2 a while ago because it's an interesting camera. It's kind of like a camera type that does not exist really anymore. And two things that why I wanted to buy it. Of course, I'm really interested in Olympus cameras, and I do have some older Olympus cameras because, you know, I collect them. Just, you know, have a small collection. And it's funny because now I'm talking about collecting cameras and gear when I've just previous section of this video was talking about the cameras doesn't matter at all. But I will get into that a bit more. And the technology has gone far since this was launched, because it was launched exactly 10 years ago. And like I said, the camera is not important, but of course the usability of a camera is really important. And I think the usability of this camera is really great because it actually has a wheel here that you can turn, which I can customize to be something. And for me, I do aperture priority and it is exposure compensation. It's really easy to make the exposure compensation with that wheel around the lens. And then what I did also for usability is that I got the viewfinder that's attached to the port that it has here. The reason is that viewfinder is something that I really need because for two things. First of all, checking out the image from the LCD or every time is not the best way to do. If it's a really bright sunny day, you know, you can't really see anything from the LCD, and that's why this one is really good. And also holding the camera in your hand and having your eye on the viewfinder will also have a third kind of like a point to keep the camera steady, which makes it a lot easier to get a longer shutter speeds rather than just holding the camera like this, which is pretty awkward. But of course, sometimes using the LCD that turns is a handy way, and I think it's a good thing that they have the both. But I could not live with the camera that has only an LCD. It's pretty awkward. Are there any situations where cameras matter? Of course, this one is not the best to photograph flying birds, for example, or action sports or anything like that. But what's the most important thing is also to understand that what your camera is able to do. What are the best things that you can photograph with it? What it's meant for. And of course, if you want to photograph birds, this is not your choice. You might get something different. But it doesn't mean that you need to get the best possible gear to do that. Like I said before, of course, if you justify for yourself with the money and everything, do it. Buy the best you can get. But it doesn't mean that you need that to do great photography, because photography is about creativity, like I've said many times. And now there are trains there because I'm looking for some photographs of trains. And what I mean is that you don't need to get the best possible bird lens if you don't have the money. Get the best you can get, but you can do it with 75 to 300 millimeter M2 lens. You can photograph birds. Be creative and make the situation so that you can use that particular lens. For example, this is a perfect camera for street photography. Of course, it's an old camera and it is a bit slow, and that's probably the downside. But then I need to pick up subjects that are suitable for this camera and make the most of it. And I think that's one thing that you should do, is try to make the most of your camera so that you get the best possible results. I don't know if this made any sense, but I hope you understand what I mean with all this. Well, I hope I made some sense. Please let me know if I did not. I will clarify it in the comments. What is the oldest camera that you have that you still use regularly? And I don't mean every now and then, but which you still grab and go out and photograph and have fun. Which is the oldest camera that you still use? Digital or film camera? Be really great to know. Please let us know in the comments down below. And what about those images that we took in the beginning of this video with Roger? Here you can see them side by side. And when you look at them like this, as a small size, you probably can't see any difference. The images look pretty much the same, and I've cropped them to be the exact same crop because it's made with a bit different focal length, as you can see from the image. I'm not saying that this camera is as good as Roger's camera, brand new, very good full frame camera. Of course, if we go into the really dark situations or dark places where it's really dark, of course that full frame will perform a lot better than this one. But what I'm saying is that in most cases that we photograph, the camera does not really matter at all, because it's all about your creativity, like I've said like 5 or 6 times already on this video, and that's just the way it is. So don't be ashamed if you don't have the brand new, or the brightest and the most beautiful and the best camera you can get. Just praise photography and think less about the gear. You will feel a lot better. You will feel a lot better about yourself if you concentrate on getting better at photography and not thinking about what gear should I buy next. You will, be in a rabbit hole of getting better and better gear all the time. Or you think that you need that in order to be better. But of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy new stuff every now and then if you feel like it and if you can afford it and you can justify your photography for that. Because of course, like I said, the usability of a camera is a really huge thing. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Here is the video that I was talking about earlier that I made with Roger. It's on Roger's channel, and he made an interview about me. You might want to watch that. The other video is my previous video about this particular camera. There are more technical stuff about it. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.